Hey, all. So, welcome to my channel. Um, Sadly to say, um, the Giants are pretty much out of it, as I mentioned. Basically, the question is now what do the Giants do? Um, there was an article. I forget where it was. I read it. I was on there on the Athletic, ESPN, or Sports Illustrated, one of those sites, and they were thinking maybe last year might have been a mistake, or maybe the Giants shouldn't have improved as much last year. What they did with being a surprise is how they went to the playoffs and ran past that first round against the Vikings. That because of that, that was a little misleading. Because it was misleading, if that didn't happen, if the Giants had lost or Giants never made the playoffs, the Giants would have a better process and what they should do in the QB situation. Now the fact is that they've signed Daniel Jones for $40 million for 4 years. They don't know what to do at this point. You can draft a quarterback. I mean, you're going to have a high pick in this situation. You could draft a quarterback. Chances are you could get one, the North Carolina quarterback or the USC quarterback. But the problem is like, are you going to have a high-paying quarterback? Cut Jones, eat some of the salary cap, and eat some of the salary, and go, take a hit into the salary cap because of that, or two, do you keep Jones and hope that maybe he develops into something decent? Um, I'm not sure what to say in this situation because like it's one of those things where like for me, as I said basically, I said it yet. Well, I said it before and I said it for quite a number of times. It was a mistake for the Giants to sign the man for $40 million per year for 4 years. I thought that was a massive mistake. I thought the fact that because he won against the Vikings in the playoffs, that I thought was sort of an outlier because it was one of those things where the Minnesota defense wasn't that great. They didn't show up entirely, and the fact that he was able to connect on some of the receivers, I think was more of a case because they just were not prepared for him, or two, they were not prepared in playoff jitters or whatnot, because we saw Philadelphia exposed how Daniel Jones was, and now we're seeing the frailty, the frailty of Jones as well too. He can't like go for a full season. We were so used to a quarterback, i.e., Eli Manning, lasting throughout the entire game and played consistently, and was always at every game. No matter even if he was injured, he was still able to play. In this case, Daniel Jones, he's pretty much brittle at this point. So it's one of those things where he's gone for the season. What do you do? Well, one thing he knows is that one thing we know for sure is you need a good backup QB. Your backup QBs are horrible. Tyrod Taylor, I don't think he's your quarterback of the future. Anyways, you got to get rid of him. It would have been good if he could teach Daniel Jones, but he's not doing that either. So it's like that's not the way to go. Similarly, this DeVito kid, he's not your quarterback at all. Even like DeBoll's not even like too confident with them. The fact that they had to sign this Barkley guy from into the practice squad, and he was just a practice squad third stringer, fourth stringer with the Buffalo Bills. It only shows that DeBall's like got nothing pretty much to work out. I mean, Dable's pretty much built some capital on his end to maybe last for this season, past this season. But it's a matter of like what he does versus Joe Judge and versus Schoen as well too. Shermer, what they both did basically with the quarterback situations. It's a matter of like what will they do? What will Dable do now with this situation? Because like he's got a Saquon Barkley, but the problem is you're not going to get Saquon Barkley. Schoen goofed by not trading Saquon Barkley. I think they should have traded him, and as well as the safety that's been pretty much vocal to the point of like he's pretty much wants out of the Giants. I don't think he's buying into Dable's system, and I think he wants out. Honestly, I think he should be traded anyways, and they probably could have traded him out as well too, and gotten more draft capital from him as well as Saquon Barkley. They could have gotten some serious draft capital with Saquon Barkley, but they didn't. I don't know if this is a case where Schoen wanted to trade him, or is this a case where like he's hoping that they can keep Barkley for next year and the year after. I don't see that happening. I honestly don't see that happening. Daniel Jones, like I said, I think Schoen realizes he made a huge mistake. I think he was dependent on what Dable thought of him. But I think we're starting to see a lot of the fallacies with Daniel Jones that I saw for the past 3 years, for the past 2 years, for that matter. The guy pretty much knows how to run. That's it. He just knows how to run, but he can't hit his receivers. I mean, let's be honest. Peyton Manning, Tom Brady, granted they were gifted with great receivers every now and then, but some of the receivers that they didn't have, they were able to make them much better as a result. Look, let's be honest. Slayton is not that. Darius Slayton is not nothing. He is decent enough, and you got Waller as well too. The fact that they can't even use Waller, because I mean I understand the fact that they have to keep Waller behind the line because the whole offensive line sucks. Makes sense as well too. But at the same time, it's one of those things where I don't think the offensive line has full faith in Daniel Jones as well too. And it's a possibility. That's the reason why it's like, you know what, let's just like get him the sacks and see how long it lasts. I have a feeling it reminds me of that movie, Any Given Sunday, where the main character, Jamie Foxx, basically was disparaging everyone, saying he's like, I'm the reason why this team is winning. The offensive line pretty much just let them through, and basically like he kept getting sacked and whatnot to prove a point that it's not just you. I have a feeling Daniel Jones must have said something or did something, because no offensive line can be that bad to like allow this many sacks. I mean, granted, you'll have some great players, but the thing is like, past couple of teams, I mean, honestly, let's be honest, like some of them didn't have that great of a pass rushers, and they were still able to get to Daniel Jones, which means, either one, it's true that the offensive line does suck and they got to rebuild from scratch, or two, I hate to say this, but like Schoen's got to get rid of his scouting team basically and like rebuild the scouting team as well too, because like, I mean, honestly, it's like, what do you do? But yeah, I honestly don't know what to. If I was in Schoen's shoes, I have no idea what to do now. Season's done. You can't really trade Jones. You can't really trade Saquon. You're gonna lose him. You pray you could get a compensatory pick, but you're not gonna get that. Maybe trade off a couple more players for some more draft capitals in the draft for this year's draft and next year's draft, but I highly doubt that's happening. Maybe you can sign some players. It'd be great if they could use some of the, I hate to say it, but like sort of the Moneyball aspect of things, of like, you know, the statistics, using the statistics a little bit, and build your defense and build your offensive line. More so, offensive line with great defense. Because remember, defense wins championships. Offense give you the points, get you the points, but defense wins you those championships. You get a great defense, you go far. I mean, unfortunately with the Jets, great defense, horrible QB, they can't do much. I would have said, like, you know what, if I'm the Giants, give the Jets Daniel Jones and see if you can get some draft picks out of him. But I don't think they're willing to do that if they didn't sign Daniel Jones the way they did. It kind of sucks for that, but honestly, I don't know. And some people might be saying, hey, I'm hating on Daniel Jones. You damn straight I'm hating on him. I mean, honestly, it reminds me exactly of the early 90s or mid-90s. Exactly reminds me of Dave Brown. No one seems to remember that. It's like history is literally repeating itself. It's repeating itself to the point where, like, we had a Dave Brown, everyone thought he was decent enough. Let's sign him for long term. It turns out it was the bad decision, the worst decision. We signed a Kerry Collins, came in, brought us to a Super Bowl, then sucked for the next 2 years. We get Eli Manning, but for Eli Manning to develop, let's get a Kurt Warner in there. He did really decent enough. If he'd stayed on with the Giants, he probably could have brought him into the playoffs too, quite honestly. But like they said, like, you know what, let's get Eli into the mix, basically. Honestly, I thought Garoppolo would have been a good addition to the Giants, but at his salary, I don't think so. And the only reason I say is because the fact is, like, I don't think coaches knew how to utilize him. Like Antonio Pierce, I don't think he knows how to utilize Garoppolo. I don't think, and definitely whatever the dude that was prior to the Raiders coach before Pierce. I forgot his name now. Honestly, it's like my mind's drawing a blank for some reason, but he definitely didn't know how to utilize Cameron. I mean, not Cameron. Garoppolo. I don't know why I'm calling him Cameron, but Garoppolo. San Francisco knew how to use him properly, but I think they realized. I think they saw his skills declining, and they knew to let him go at that point. And it was. I think it might have been the. I don't know if it was the wisest decision on their part, but it looks like they're gonna have to get a quarterback on their end. I would love for the Giants to trade Daniel Jones to San Francisco if they can get some draft picks and something of that nature. But I know that's not happening. Because San Francisco could pretty much leverage a lot of their future to win now. Saquon, I wish they could. Like I said, if I would, I think every Giants fan out there would have, by the trade deadline, for sure traded Saquon Barkley for some draft capital. The best ones that they could get out from him, basically, because it was a lost season. We knew it was a lost season. You could try salvaging the season, but it's not. There's not much you can salvage, especially in the NFC East and NFC for that matter. They should have traded Saquon. I think everyone knew. I don't know why Sean wasn't, unless he's got some plan in place, some greater plan that he knows what to do with Saquon. That he can work it out, but I'm not sure, honestly. Yeah. With that, I'll leave it at that. Let me know your thoughts. What do you guys think about with Daniel Jones? Should the Giants keep him? Do they cut him and eat the salary cap? Eat up the salary and let it take a bite into the salary cap. Draft a QB or two. Maybe keep him trying for one more year. Rebuild the offensive line. Maybe get some more offensive weapons. See what happens there. Or to start anew. Just gut the entire team. Build around Thibodeau. Build around the defense. Build on the offensive line, and just work from there, basically. Again, let me know your thoughts in the comment section. I do read all my comments, and I do respond to them when they warrant a response. With that, I'll leave it at that. Unfiltered, unedited. Well, before I say that, if you like my video, like my content, like my channel, please subscribe if you haven't subscribed. If you have, I thank you for that. But with that, like I said, I'll leave it at that. Unfiltered, unedited, and of course, unrehearsed. Until next time.